It's Thanksgiving. You're dressed up, your hair's nice, and you're carrying the casserole from the car to your grandma's door. She greets you with a kiss and reminds you that you need to call more. We know, Grandma, we're sorry. But as soon as you walk in, it's like taking a trip back in time. You hear the record playing. It's a saxophone.
Nice. The carpet is shag. The furniture was bought with the house in the 50s. Grandpa still wears his Sansa slacks, and the TV is that weird giant wooden box with the tiny screen and all the buttons and dials down the front. And what is that old house smell? Mothball,
Lavender,
brute,
potpourri,
cats,
dogs,
old wood paneling,
dinner,
Bengay,
prunes.
luxury.
But how did we get here? It's the 21st century. It seems like the older we get, the more we become stuck in our ways. We trend towards buying the same food, same clothes, going to the same places, and we stop buying new things and keeping up with that hip culture.
When you think about it, there is really a progression we go through. We are born, we begin going to school,
Right.
we make terrible fashion choices, bowl cuts.
Jonathan Taylor.
But everything we come across is a new choice, a new path, a fun and exciting idea.
You get older and go to college, you get a new girlfriend, she breaks your heart, you're thinking, was marriage a possibility? Do I have a flawed view of what marriage should look like? And then you try to get her back and she's like, it's a values thing.
Christian, back on topic, we don't have time for this.
Someday.
But we get to the seeming utopia where we're listening to the hip new music, vining, snapping, eating at the newest food trucks, and always finding new things to do. Everything is so accessible. The world is literally at our fingertips.
Literally.
We don't have a ton of responsibilities or commitments that occupy our time. We just live life like we'll never die. But then life comes and you get older.
Older?
Older. What we're talking about, this idea of getting stuck, is not unique to old people, but to older people. It's a question about aging, and we're all heading that way. Think about it, people of the internet. Your dad is great, experienced, and wise, but he probably still has shirts that haven't been cool since like 1984, right?
Right. And your mom is great, people of the internet, but she probably still listens to Shania Twain.
In all seriousness, though, I love Shania
I
Twain.
know, right? She's the diamond of country pop.
Strong woman.
Now, getting older brings its own challenges. Your vision and hearing declines as you get older, and your physical fitness peaks in your late 20s.
That's too close.
Too close.
But it's not just physical change that happens as we get older. Our interest in new things wanes.
As we get older, our interest in the new wanes?
Yes, it wanes.
Wayne's World!
Party time!
Excellent!
Woo, 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 woo. And I really think there are two main things that account for this. The first is that we lose the need for new things. We begin to strive towards utility and away from what's trendy.
Return back to Grandma's house and think about how it looks. At a certain age, they sort through the things that are awesome, new, and shiny, and the things that work. They no longer have a need to purchase what is new when they already have something that works, even if it is outdated. That was air quotes.
Right, it's difficult to convince someone that they need a new refrigerator with Wi-Fi access and Netflix capabilities when the refrigerator that they already own keeps food cold. Plus, it's that sweet turquoise color.
And they're probably right to think that way. As we age, we begin to better understand the difference between a desired item and a needed item. We keep the things that work, and the new things, no matter how cool, fail to allure us in the same way they once did.
So, if the first thing that happens is that we no longer need new things, the second is that we lose our capability to keep up with new things. And the main culprit? Life change. We are incapable of staying the same forever, and I doubt any of us would actually want to.
Life change comes in many forms. You graduate high school? Life change. You get a new job? Life change. You get married, have a kid, change careers, retire? Life change, life change, life change, life change. Life would be boring without all of these. It is a part of life and a part of the human experience.
These life changes affect our ability to keep up with the changing culture because life change dictates our purchases. We all know the stories of the hip young guy trading in his two-seater convertible so that he can roll in the minivan with his kids.
But life change also dictates our attention. Getting a new job takes time and focus and energy. Moving across country takes time and focus and energy. Having kids takes time and... well, you get it. You know it. You live it every day. When life gets busy, you can't possibly keep up with everything.
One of the areas of life that this is most evident is in our taste of music. It is manifest in the music was better in my day attitude. But was music really better back then? Every generation seems to think that the music that they grew up with is better than the music we have now. The real reason for this thought process, however, is life change. Discovering new music that you like is a time-consuming process that requires a not insignificant amount of your time. It may seem passive, but it requires you to analyze and remember songs and bands and genres that you enjoy. You then have to keep returning to that music over all of the other possible choices that you have for your time.
Ajay Kalia, I hope I'm saying that right, works with taste profiles at Spotify and was able to document how life change affects our ability to discover new music we like. In a breakdown of his findings, linked to the article below, he was able to show that major life events like having a child naturally creates a drop-off in our ability to keep up with popular music. The older you get and the more life change you experience, the further away from current popular music you move.
Now you may be thinking to yourself, this sounds awful. I don't want to get older. I don't want to stop caring about the latest trends in fashion, design, technology, and music. Is there any way to stop this? And while that is a legitimate concern and definitely worth exploring, I think we need to ask, do we want to stop this?
You see, it comes down to what you value as you age. You are well within your rights to value keeping up with culture, and to some extent you absolutely should. But the big secret that everyone learns about life is that some good things that we enjoy doing, learning, seeing, and exploring must be sacrificed for things that we think are great, things that we think are better.
The reality is that while we all enjoy some of the good things that life has to offer, at some point we weigh what we value most in life and begin devoting our time and energy into those things. Our values change over time, and because we only have a limited amount of time, our focus shifts to the things that we value the most.
So don't be afraid of getting older. Sure, your clothes may fall out of fashion, and you may not know the Billboard Top 100. You may not even know what is cool. But you will be cool, just not in the way you think now. And it is most likely a trade-off you will be willing to make.
And the next time that you think your parents or grandparents just aren't cool or don't get it, remember that you're right. They don't. They made the trade-off of not following some good things to devote their time to some great things. In the end, it comes down to what you value, and it is a trade-off you too will make someday.